What is TDM? Telos Destination Method. Telos. The word telos is, I believe Aristotle is the source of that. The goal of all goals. If you look at any motivation and you go one layer deeper, like, and you ask why, take for instance, an example Dr. Robert uses is person burning a house down, and if you go to the person who's burning the house and you go, hey, why are you doing this? And he goes, oh, because I'm going to get insurance money if I destroy the house. And then you're like, oh, got it. And now I'm curious, what does money give you? Why do you want insurance money? Oh, I wanna stop working and I wanna get cool clothes and go to Italy. Oh, got it. You wanna travel, you want cool clothes, and here's a question. What do you get from that? What's the benefit of having that? What does that give you? So what I'm doing is going to telos, the why beneath it. What is the motivation behind that? Well, why do I want to have cool clothes and go to Italy? Yeah, I've never thought about that. Oh, I want an adventure. I want a fun life. Got it. So you're burning the house because what you really want is money. Why you really want money is so you can have these, go on trips and have these items. And the reason you want that is you want adventure in your life. You want to have fun. And now even going above the telos, what is above that? What's the benefit of that? Why do you want to have fun? What is giving fun to give you? Instantly for me, the answer is I'm going to be happy. So the words Telos Destination Method. This is a method to take you towards the telos of what you want. What is the goal of the goal, the highest order in the hierarchy? So sometimes the behavior to get to what you want isn't actually doing that. I used to stay up late at night thinking about like a staff meeting I'm gonna have. I wanted to be the most charming and impactful in my staff meeting, but my method of doing that, of accomplishing that, was staying up late at night thinking about it. But thinking about it and not sleeping well is not an effective method to getting the thing that I want, which is to be an impactful leader. Sometimes our methods doesn't deliver us the thing that we want. My take on what the heart of telos is: destination, obviously, where we're going in a coaching scenario, and the method by which. Okay. So what gets in the way of the telos? What gets in the way of the highest order of goals that we have, that we want, that is inner calling? One big texture of things that the TDM works on is suffering. And we break down suffering into two types of suffering. There's necessary suffering and unnecessary suffering. I'll give one distinction between each, whether or not there's a solution to the suffering. Simple example, I got a cut. I was friggin' riding my bike, I fell, scraped my knee, shit, I'm bleeding, damn, suffering. That bleeding is gonna arise, and that's necessary suffering. Now, if I had a Band-Aid in my pocket to stop the bleeding, or some disinfectant, or say I had a whole first aid kit in my book bag. So suddenly this necessary suffering, which is literal pain plus vulnerability to bacteria and infection, this suffering is necessary because there's no solution out of it in this current moment, that I just fell off the bike and I have to get home and figure out a way to solve this aspect of suffering, which is vulnerability to infection. However, if I had a first aid kit, if I continue to have that pain, that cut wound, and I'm like, I'm not going to use a first aid kit, I call that unnecessary suffering, because there is a solution in place to cover the wounds, to disinfect it, and to protect it. So when there's a solution present and it's not being used, I call that unnecessary suffering. But when there is no solution present, or there's no awareness of a solution, or the resources to solve a problem, then that suffering is necessary. So those are the two categories. So what we look at is things that we call unnecessary suffering. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I have a conviction from my experiences that certain things that arise in the mind are actually very resolvable. What are these things? Stress is resolvable. Worrying is resolvable. Fear, unhappiness, self-criticism, painful memories, remembering something that hurt you, that happened in the past, and thinking about it over and over again, confusion, fatigue, toxic relationships, loss of a loved one. These concepts that occur in the mind, I look at it as unnecessary suffering. If you're in the presentation of someone who knows how to work with this to resolve it, so that someone who doesn't want to worry doesn't have to. When I'm saying, hey, self-criticism doesn't have to be there, and there's a simple way to resolve it, I feel skepticism come up. I mean, I used to have it too, so I understand. Okay, so I laid out a whole bunch of things of what TDM can resolve, its purpose. What is TDM? Its mission is to heal and be healed, help the client through education. A TDM coach is not a therapist. It is not a doctor. It's not of the medical model. The medical model is, there's a problem over there. I'm going to fix it. So I got the problem. I'm having heart palpitations. You're the doctor. You're the expert. You're going to fix this so that I no longer have this problem. You fix that for me. That is not what TDM coaching is at all. TDM coach is, I have a problem. I have heart palpitations. I am doing something to create heart palpitations. A TDM coach will come to me with education, help me be aware of the unconscious and conscious things that I am doing to have the effect, this behavior that I don't want to have. I don't want to be creating heart palpitations for myself. So through education, I am going to find a way to resolve this suffering. Right now, this suffering of heart palpitations is a necessary suffering. Once I have the solution, which is now the awareness that, holy shit, when I drink coffee, my heart starts to palpitate. Caffeine creates this effect. So now, if I continue to have heart palpitations, that suffering is unnecessary because I have a solution, which is to say, don't have coffee. But now, here's the issue. I love coffee. I have a part of me that wants to have coffee. I like the way it smells. I still want to have coffee. I don't like the effect of coffee, which is the suffering, but I want to stop having coffee. What do? Education can be the solution. How do I integrate these two different parts of me? There's a part of me that wants coffee. There's a part of me that doesn't want coffee. As long as I have both parts of me running, I will have the effects I don't want. What is the integrated way to do that? Man, when I smell coffee, I get this feeling that I need to have a sip. Right? I'm freaking, all this talk about coffee. Gotta have a damn sip. It's so good. It really is. My girl taught me how to grind my own beans, and she got me some beans from Mexico. A nice fresh batch, a pour over. My goodness, it's so good. And if it's creating heart palpitations for me, this would be a suffering that I would need resolved. And education, learning how to integrate these parts of me, or learning how to transform my mind so that I have more resources, so that when I smell it, I'm not responding to my impulse of needing to have a cup of coffee, but instead there could be another thing that my mind does, which is remembering the spaciousness of alertness that I'm actually craving. Or that's what, to me, makes TDM so special. TDM, it understands the mind. It has a clear-cut definition of what the mind is. So TDM holds a couple of things about the mind that I'll just share. One is the nature of the mind is to create immeasurable goodness, kind of hitting the realm of spirituality. One's nature is like the source point of its being, which is goodness. But if you take that piece just a step further in a little more practical sense, if you really understand that the nature of my mind, of everyone's mind, is goodness, that means like the telos, what it ultimately wants, if you go deeper, is to create happiness, bliss, things of these realms of goodness, right? The mind is not the brain. The mind is not quantifiable in a material thing. I can speak, I can report what I'm witnessing in it, but we cannot find the mind. I point to here like locationally, but the truth is I am the only person through my awareness can see what is in my mind. Just how my external world is having a relationship with senses, my inner world is having a relationship with senses. I am having inner pictures, inner thoughts, sounds, inner smells, inner feelings, and inner tastes. And as a consequence of these inner phenomenon, I am responding and reacting to them. Those inner pieces I am calling my mind. And every aspect of that, my conviction as a TDM coach and how I hold in the education of helping someone who is dealing with a suffering is to expand the awareness to understand the nature of the goodness underneath what is arising in their inner world. That's a big chunk of that. And that's a big abstract way of expressing what TDM coach does. So it's education of the nature of the mind. Mind is these aspects of the inner world. The question that arises for me that I'm thinking you're thinking is like, okay, so how does a TDM coach it? And it's the integration of two parts, which is the heart and sword. The idea is for healing to happen, you need both heart and tool. Going back to the analogy of a doctor, hey, open your mouth. I want to see if you have a strep throat. And he opens out and he shoves some swab like deep in my throat and I start gagging and coughing and I'm like fucking pissed. I'm dreading. I'm now thinking of all the dentists. They just plunged their tools. Sure, they were effective in removing plaque out of my gums, which is something I totally wanted. I'm sure this doctor was effective in creating some measurable goodness of releasing waste from my body or testing to see the depth of my ailments. But when it comes without heart, my nervous system gets defensive. When pain arises in a jarring way, it becomes an experience of suffering for me. And going back to this idea of what is the nature of the mind, there's something about heart, which is compassion, love, creating an environment of safety, softens and opens and allows a reception of an exchange for something that's wound up. All the friends that just listen to me, there's inherently something healing that happens when someone's heart, when someone's care is presented. It feels good. It feels good to receive. There's this really legendary psychologist named Carl Rogers who would give non-judgmental listening and just having nothing at all except giving listening. 35% of people, at least in the most recent meta study that I read about a little over a decade ago, would resolve their issues just by having someone listen. It is in my compassion. If I have something to help someone, if the person with the resource with compassion automatically gets inspired to share that resource when I share the suffering with someone. So this sharing of goodness is just a byproduct of heart, and the person receiving it, the heart creates the field necessary for healing. So TDM believes in two things. One, heart, which is done through the rapport, the trust, the non-judgmental listening. And there's like TDM goes really deep in really understanding what professional listening is, how to really create a safe environment. Most TDM sessions are 2 hours long so that there's complete spaciousness, real genuine connection, and heartful listening to arise. But here's the thing, heart in itself, at least what psychologists have noticed, and thinking of all the people that listen to me from all the fucking tough shit that I've gone through, or all my failures from all my ambitions, listening is sweet, but I still have the problem most of the time after that. Unless I come up with an insight in myself by just hearing myself talk and having someone hold that without, I'm really not left resolve my suffering. So in addition, Telos also believes in the integration of heart and soul, which is the technology. What is the technology to resolve the suffering? If someone is having self-criticism, which is, damn, my mind, I'm hearing a voice, I'm like hearing it here, you suck over here. And it's my voice saying it in that kind of a tone. Damn, every time I hear it, my heart hurts. I'm a little pissed off. You know, I'm motivated, but man, it's causing me stress and it is not helping me. I just share this with someone who's heartfully feels me. Now they can suffer with me. But without the tool, the technology, without knowing what is the way so that my mind just doesn't say that anymore? Like, what is the solution to my mind not saying that to me? I think there's so many bad solutions out there. TDM has tools to solve many different types of issues created within the mind. Oh man, I've tried affirmations and telling myself, writing down the things that I want and rereading it and trying to wash my brain by repeated memorization of other things. What I have found is memorizing something doesn't stop the behavior that I'm also can't stop from returning. Like, just because I'm starting to tell myself, you're the man, you're the man, you're the man. I don't tell myself that anymore, actually. But I used to tell myself that because that was my solution to trying to fight you suck, was telling myself you're the man. Give me 10 minutes or take 10 minutes with any TDM coach. They can walk you through an experience where that voice no longer is speaking. Or if that voice does speak, the second it speaks, it goes from you suck to you're safe, you're feeling good, you feel very good about yourself, and all of a sudden only positive things or not only positive things, but yeah, positive things, but the things that you actually want to be saying to yourself. Now there's a way you can be educated to learn how to have your mind say the things you wanted to say that you know it should be saying, but you just don't have that tool to actually have it unconsciously say the things you want to say. That's one instance of one issue. So there's trust to be led to the education to trying something new when it's dealing with inner world, with the mind, and effective tools that you can identify with a fact. Before having this experience, this was true. My mind said this. I was seeing this painful thing that happened to me when these kids started kicking me because it was my birthday, and that's what they would do because that's what kids in Queens did when to beat up the fat kid. And now every day, every year on my birthday, shit, I keep remembering that and I feel like I gotta hide myself on my birthday. But now with the right tool, I can see that same memory and just smile and actually be at ease. So having the right tool is just as important, and integrating that with the heart is one of the things about TDM. And it's a wonderful thing because I know what I can help and I know what I can't help. The last thing I want to say about TDM, which goes to the destination part, that a TDM coach is like a taxi driver. We have no agenda on resolving something. You go to a doctor will give you a scan of tests and then be like, oh, this is off, this is off, this is off. Boost your testosterone, lower your cholesterol, keep going for walks, like whatever. That is not what a TDM coach does. A TDM coach is like a taxi driver. It's like you walk in and you tell the TDM coach where you want to go. What is your telos? What do you want? And then the coach's job is to help you get there in the most effective, smooth, in a climate of love and kindness where you have arrived at where you wanted to go without creating any cost to that. That premise is radically different, and I think is part of the reason why TDM, its success rate is quite high, because the context of it is we're only working with people who already have the desire of wanting to go somewhere or wanting something, whether it's a healthier mind, whether it's experiencing more happiness in their quality of life, whether it's eating a specific way, whether it's having a way to stand up to someone who isn't, who's creating suffering in their dynamics. So I hope that gives a good meaty sense of what TDM coaching is, and feel free to reach out to me, and you can look up Dr. Robert McDonald. He has a great website and offers resources to learn more about TDM as well. I'm gonna have a coffee break because that was pretty proud of myself. That was fun.